I sat in the back row, invisible in a sea of well-wishers. My ex-wife, glowing in white, clutched my best friend's hands, oblivious. Laughter echoed as they exchanged vows. Then, I rose. The hush was instant. I met her gaze, and with a single sentence, I shattered their perfect day. 3 years ago, Emily was my wife, and Ryan was my best friend. We were inseparable: dinners, vacations, late-night talks over whiskey. I trusted them with everything. Then, one day, I came home early. A misplaced jacket, a hushed whisper, the unmistakable sound of betrayal. Emily wept, swearing it was a mistake. Ryan couldn't even meet my eyes. But I knew better. A mistake happens once. This had been going on for months. The divorce was swift. They moved on as if I never existed. I disappeared from their lives. They thought I was broken, defeated. They were wrong. A year after the divorce, I received the wedding invitation. White cardstock. Gold lettering. Elegant and soulless, just like them. I should have tossed it. Instead, I stared at my name, perfectly printed. Mr. Daniel Carter, guest. Guest. As if I were some distant acquaintance. The final insult. I wasn't invited out of kindness. No, this was Emily's way of proving she had won. That she had erased me. That night, I sat in the dark, whiskey in hand, staring at the city skyline. I had moved on. Or so I thought. But something inside me snapped. They had taken everything: my marriage, my friendship, my dignity. And now they wanted me to watch them celebrate? No. I wasn't going as a guest. I was going as a reckoning. I spent weeks gathering everything I needed. Not just the betrayal, I already knew that, but the lies they'd spun to justify it. Emily had rewritten history. To her family, I was a neglectful husband, a workaholic who pushed her into Ryan's arms. Ryan, my so-called friend, played the remorseful lover, helpless in the face of true love. It was a beautiful lie. One that had earned them sympathy, not shame. But I had proof. Bank statements. Hidden transactions. Messages they thought were deleted. Evidence that their true love had started long before they admitted it. That Emily had siphoned money from our accounts. That Ryan had lied to his own fiancée, yes, the woman he was engaged to before he pursued my wife. It was all there, neatly documented. And I wasn't the only one who deserved justice. Ryan's ex, Claire, had reached out to me months ago. We had pieced the timeline together, realizing how perfectly we'd both been played. We weren't bitter exes. We were survivors of their selfishness. The night before the wedding, I sent Claire a message: "It's time." She replied instantly, "I'll be there." The wedding was grand, an opulent display of wealth and vanity. Crystal chandeliers, white roses, a string quartet. I arrived early, blending into the crowd. No one noticed me. Not at first. Then Emily spotted me. For a split second, I saw her mask slip, her eyes widened, lips parted. Then, just as quickly, she composed herself, leaning into Ryan with a triumphant smirk. As if to say, "Look at me now. Look at what you lost." Ryan's greeting was stiff. Forced. He had the decency to look uncomfortable. "Didn't expect you to come." I smiled. Wouldn't miss it. The ceremony began. Vows were exchanged. The moment of truth approached. The officiant cleared his throat. "If anyone here has any reason why these two should not be married, speak now or forever hold your peace." Silence. Then, I stood. The rustle of fabric. A few gasps. Emily's smile faltered. Ryan's grip on her hand tightened. I let the silence stretch, reveling in the anticipation. Then, with a calm, steady voice, I said, "I have something to say." The room held its breath. Emily laughed nervously. Daniel, don't. I ignored her. My gaze swept across the room, her parents, his colleagues, their friends, all waiting. I reached into my jacket and pulled out a small stack of papers. You see, I wasn't going to come. But then I thought. This is a celebration of truth, isn't it? Of love? So maybe we should honor that. Ryan paled. Emily's fingers dug into his arm. Emily, do you remember Claire? I asked casually. Emily stiffened. Ryan's face drained of color. I turned to the crowd. Ryan was engaged to Claire before he pursued my wife. And he didn't just leave her, he strung her along, promising her a future while sleeping with Emily. And Emily? Well, she wasn't just unfaithful, she was calculated. She drained our joint accounts. Lied about me. Made herself the victim. Murmurs spread like wildfire. Claire stood then, her voice sharp. Ryan told me you were abusive, Daniel. That you neglected Emily. He told me he was saving her. She turned to the crowd. But guess what? He told me the same thing about me. Gasps. A woman in the front row, Ryan's mother, covered her mouth. Emily's father stood abruptly. Emily, tell me this isn't true. But Emily was silent. And that silence was her confession. Ryan grabbed my arm, his voice low. You made your point. Leave. I pulled away. Oh, I'm not done. I turned back to the crowd. There's more. Like how Emily transferred money out of our accounts into a private one months before the divorce. Or how Ryan cheated again while engaged to her. Emily spun toward Ryan. What? He stammered, that's not true. Claire smirked. Oh, it is. Want the screenshots? Emily's face crumbled. Ryan turned on me, desperate. Why are you doing this? I leaned in. Because you deserved it. Ryan lunged right as security stepped in. Guests whispered, phones recorded. Emily looked around, desperate for an escape, but there was none. Then, the final blow. I held up the last envelope. Oh, and Emily? You might want to check the name on the deed to your new house. Turns out, Ryan never actually transferred it to your name. You don't own a thing. Her breath hitched. You're lying. I smiled. Check for yourself. She grabbed the envelope, tearing it open. Her hands shook as she read. Then she looked at Ryan with horror. He didn't meet her eyes. And just like that, their perfect day collapsed. I walked away as the chaos unfolded. Claire at my side, both of us lighter, freer. Are you good? She asked. I inhaled the crisp air, exhaling years of betrayal. For the first time in a long time? Yeah. Behind us, Emily and Ryan were left in the wreckage of their lies. Not my problem anymore. I had my closure. I had my justice. And they had each other. What a fitting punishment. As I stepped into the sunlight, I realized something. Revenge wasn't about destruction, it was about reclaiming your power. And today, I did just that. I didn't ruin their wedding. They did. I simply handed them the mirror. And let the truth do the rest.